everybody, this is Master Cloud, and I am back to bring you guys some more Rise of the Witch King spawning in the lower right-hand side. As men, it is going to be Mauher, and his opponent across the ford is going to be Eonwe spawning as dwarves. Now, if you guys have been following my channel, this is Game 2 now between these two players, and they are playing for a place in the very finals of this tournament that was held quite recently, a week or two ago, I believe, on the it was in February of 2015. So if you guys are watching this video around that time, that is when the tournament took place. So very recent, at least at the time of me casting this. So of course, in that last game, just to go ahead and do a quick recap, we saw Mauher go for a very early Isengard attack with those Wildmen of Dunlin, and basically was able to cripple the resources of Eonwe. He wasn't able to chase down those Wildmen. He lost a lot of mines, lost a lot of units, throwing some of them away, and basically got way too far behind in that game to actually deal with the power of Isengard. And then, of course, lost his fortress there at the very end to that battering ram. So I think a very well-played game by Mauher. We'll have to see what does Eonwe do this time that's going to be different in order to see if he can take a game off of Mauher and get himself back even, and then, of course, go for the win in a potential Game 3 between these two players here. Now, Eonwe, despite losing rather quickly in that last game, seemed to know a little bit what he was doing, so we'll actually have to see if he can improve his performance. Might have been a little bit nervous going against Mauher, and also getting off to a very random bad start is always a potential. You can very easily lose a game of Witch King with just a few early mistakes, as opponents can build up very quickly. Actually, we have a group of Gondor soldiers. Mauher, once again, going for that very early rush tactic that he employed last game, has archers out now as well. More pikemen moving along the south side here. And both of these units of Gondor soldiers searching for mines. Haven't found any yet, though. And does our Dwarven player even know they are here? I think so, as he's loading some dwarves up. Knows they're around the backside here, and is going to be popping out units to go ahead and deal with these soldiers. I think right now they're looking for more mines that they can potentially find to deal damage with. Looked like that one was going to be free, but at the last second, the dwarves actually popped out of that mine and caught him a little bit by surprise there. Got a couple of nice hits off. Did some preliminary damage, but those soldiers are going to retreat. And I'd like to see Eonwe here go for an earlier forge works this game. As you guys can recall, last game, those Wildmen were quite devastating him for a while. They're actually going for a forward mine with this builder that does actually die, so that's going to be an early game loss. However, this builder does survive, and this mine gets up, and here comes a bunch of dwarves right into the base. There goes the rally call. Mauher is not ready for this, does not have any units here coming out of these barracks. Now returning a couple of units, a couple of archers. They're not going to take out these dwarven guardians very fast, and he's going to lose a farm, a archery range, and potentially an additional barracks, and all of a sudden he's going to be completely crippled in terms of unit production. Looks like this forward mine will go down, but the Guardians are actually still alive, could initiate battle with these archers at close range, and that is exactly what he's going to do. They are going to be able to take out those quite easily, and they would like to see him actually retreat with these Guardians if he can. There isn't enough forward mine for him to run to. But more units moving or retreating now through the middle and are going to begin to deal with these Dwarven Guardians, as they are still chasing these Gondor archers. In the bottom side, it looks like the inn here is going to be owned by our... Actually, who does own this inn? I'm not actually sure who captured that. It looks like the dwarves have it now. They do have hobbits on the way. These hobbits might actually make it out in time to fight, and I think they are definitely going to. Here comes a unit of Guardians to take this back, but the hobbits do make it out in time, so they can begin to fight some of these pikemen here. The Dwarven Guardians show up, though, to deal some damage as well, and I think this unit of pikemen is going to go down. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, an additional unit of Guardians here being chased by several units of Gondor soldiers and a couple of archers as well. Looks like they will go ahead and fall. But I think the damage was already done just now, getting that archery range back up on the field, actually getting 2 barracks instead of an archery range. And actually, with all that extra time, decided to go for Faramir instead. So Mauher here opting for a little bit of a different strategy. As soon as he lost those barracks, he decided, hey, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of immediately rebuilding those, I'm going to go ahead and save up my money to build out a hero instead. And I actually really like that choice. It's almost as if he had decided to do it all along, and therefore it doesn't put him as far behind. Of course, if you immediately start throwing your money back into that barracks, there's going to be a lag between that time and when you can actually get some more units out on the field. So instead here, going for a hero, and I think this hero is a smart choice against the dwarves, as they don't really have a lot of ability to chase down this hero. These Guardians actually going to be focusing him down here. Faramir needs to fall back. You do not want to leave Faramir in the front. I mean, he does a decent amount of damage from the back lines, but does not need to be up front fighting, and there he's going to be in much better position now. Here comes the battle wagon, though. There is a group of pikemen in here, though, so this battle wagon not going to be nearly as effective as Eonwe hoped, but Eonwe definitely holding his own in this game much better than our previous match. He is going to be losing this unit of Guardians, though. Does have the inn, does queue up another group of hobbits as well. Faramir needs to take some time to heal here. Here comes an additional unit of Guardians. We'll be able to catch this farm just as it was built, and that's going to need to be canceled immediately, or not, as it looks like he might save it so that Faramir can grab a little bit of experience here from some of these dwarves, so they can easily finish this mine off, and that is going to go down. A unit of Dwarven Guardians moving in for an attack. I'm not sure about throwing away Guardians like this. They're not exactly the cheapest unit in the game, and he's not getting a lot of value out of them. So Eonwe here trying to go for that same sort of rush tactic where he sends in some units, tries to get some kills, and it worked really well, I want to say, on those 3 buildings. But at this point, there's enough units out on the field where these hit squads are just not doing the kind of damage that they need to do right now. Couple of Dwarven Guardians actually retreating into the mine. He needs to pump those right back out. They can actually, I think, win this battle, as there's just a couple of pikemen here, but decides lets them get a little too close, and he's going to have to cancel. Yeah, he cancels the mine, so now they can deal the damage. Here comes the hobbits, though, summoned. I believe that's going to be by our Gondor player, and yes, it is. I don't know where he's sending these hobbits. That is the question right now. Could be a troll summon. Hard to say. Here comes a different summon from the Eonwe. So we have hobbits versus hobbits, and it's not a troll summon. It's actually, he's going to be going for the fortress here, although the hobbits, as you can see, do not deal hardly any damage to that fortress. And I think at this point, Mauher basically feeling pretty confident he's going to lose that group of level 2 Gondor soldiers, though, as they're just kind of standing around there. Could potentially lose a lot of these units as well. He's building very forward farmhouses here, trying to extract as much income as he possibly can from the map, but I think he feels pretty confident with Faramir out on the field at this point. Despite having lost a couple of buildings, he now has 2 barracks up. He's got the upgraded barracks as well. So the Gondor Tower Guards are out and now moving forward, and he's drawing the army of the dwarves to the south. Do we have a dwarven hero out? Would love to see Prince Brand out on the field, but as we take a look towards the center of the map, several units now crossing the fords of Isen here, as they will be moving forward. There's only, well, there's 2 groups of pikemen in there, so this battle wagon should be pretty ineffective, I would imagine. The units from the south now pushing back forward as the dwarves had to retreat. The hobbits moving in to engage, but they're almost out of time anyways, so they're probably going to deal any significant amount of damage. Might lose a couple of units here, but hardly anything worth noting. A unit of Dwarven Guardians completely surrounded up on the top side here. Did the battle wagon get taken out? It is still alive. It did throw the casket there, so there is some damage here from that fire on some of these units, but they easily run out of it. And he lost a couple units there, but not nearly enough to make that worthwhile. I mean, he lost a unit of Guardians and a mine, and maybe killed off maybe 1 unit. So again, I think a little bit of a mistake. Here's the Prince Brand, the captain of the field, though. It's about time he's made his way onto the field. And Eonwe deciding to take to the archery path here, as the men did with Faramir. The battle wagon escaping here. Prince Brand picking up a little bit of experience. Nice, needs to grab a few more kills, and then can pick up that slam shot, which is, of course, what he just did. And would love to see him use that immediately. Eonwe, is he paying attention? Right now he has something to to worry about in the bottom of his base as well, though. Here comes the slam shot, I think. There it goes. Grabs an additional level, and these units going to be taking a lot of damage now from Prince Brand. However, he has a huge problem to deal with in the bottom of his base, which is, of course, Faramir level 5, as well as a huge group of Gondor warriors, spearmen, just the basic soldiers, rangers as well, though. Actually, these are these Summon Rangers? Dunedain Rangers. He captured the inn in the bottom, and this is a great choice as these Rangers are incredibly effective and incredibly cheap from that inn. Much better deal, in my opinion, than those stinky hobbits. However, that's the way the cookie crumbles when you get these races, and it's just something that these players are going to have to deal with, and it's something that Eonwe is going to have to deal with, as these Rangers are going to start to deal a lot of damage to these Guardians, and he just doesn't have the power right now, the amount of units to fight this. Both go down with a rally call. Where is Prince Brand? I don't even see him on the field. Where? I'm not really sure where he is. He was in the mine, pops out at the last second, and is going to start to shoot away some of these troops. The Guardians are going down. The battle wagon getting a little, actually gets behind the pikemen, but a shot by Faramir actually takes it out, saves it just in time. And Mauher here doing an excellent job controlling these troops, throws them in defensive formation, the archers in the back dealing the damage in aggressive stance. I mean, Prince Brand is picking off a couple of units, but here comes some reinforcements, and all of a sudden the dwarves are looking to be in a lot of trouble, and I think Eonwe realizes he's completely surrounded, and rather than fight it out, he's going to surrender, as he realized he was completely surrounded there, didn't have the infrastructure to continue the fight, and basically I think it was, at that point, I think it was almost a mental victory by Mauher, as Eonwe realized it was going to be an uphill struggle, and he just basically threw in the towel and said, yeah, I could fight this out for a little while, but I'm so far behind that I don't know if I can win here, and even if I do win, then I have to play Mauher for another game. Mauher, of course, an expert strategist over at GameReplays.org. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed those games. Not the longest, most action-packed games, but definitely some interesting ones to see the strategies employed by some of the best players currently still playing Rise of the Witch King. So Mauher does advance to the finals, guys. Definitely stay tuned to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. All of that stuff helps so much in terms of video generation, as well as view count being able to increase, which allows me to get more videos out for you guys as well. Definitely stay tuned, guys. We're going to have the finals coming up next between Mauher and Megrim, so it's going to be hopefully an exciting finals. I hope you guys are excited for it as well. And I guess I will be casting those hopefully very soon, guys. Definitely stay tuned. MasterCloud signing out.